Hey guys, this is Chris one more time with the Guitar Hero World Tour videos and the Rock Band videos for drumming. My video diary, evolution of my drum set. Quickly sponsored by rockbandquickbox.com and quickdrawmods.com. I just wanted to go over a couple of things real quick. I've got a low battery before I need to recharge, so I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. If you guys remember the video for the Guitar Hero World Tour box, the J5, I still have it hooked up. It still works with Rock Band. We've got some videos that I'm going to do that's going to show how it works with just MIDI. I've actually showed you guys the creation of a box that I was building, a J5 with MIDI connector. How you could just basically rip the brain off your Guitar Hero World Tour set and just connect it to your regular drum brain and you're good to go. And no need to have the big plastic drum set laying around, and just mount it to your set kind of like I did, and you're good to go. The J5 itself is a little more complicated than just the MIDI connection on the box, so definitely check that out if you get a chance. My J5 is custom built, so it's got a lot more functions, well, not more functions, but it's built to work slightly different than a normal J5. It's got boosts and stuff in it because I was running so many cables and splitters and stuff like that. So it's actually self-powered, plus the powered batteries on it, just to run normal. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but it's still hooked up, and it does work for Rock Band as well. I'm not going to do a demonstration right now. I don't have enough battery power for it on my camera, so I just want to be quick. We hope it didn't die. I'm actually going to get back behind the camera. So I want you guys to basically send me some comments and messages and let me know what you want to see and what tutorials you want and what information you want, and I'll do my best to provide it for you. In the meanwhile, I want to talk about some of the new products that we have on there. This is the old ion expander. Ports in, ports out on both sides. One was to your ion brain, the other one was to your drum brain, regular drum brain. The reason for this was the adjustment of your pads, since they don't have an adjustment setting like the Guitar Hero drums. And it was also so that you didn't have to keep plugging and unplugging wires and to play either freestyle like I was just doing, or play the game, or do both at the same time. This is one of the new toys. This is a ion expander MIDI. It still has the 8 ins, obviously, because you have your drum pads, your snare, your hi-hat, your tom, your bass pedal, your tom, your ride, your cymbals and toms, all sorts of stuff. And on the other side, power on and off, MIDI through, MIDI in. Basically go from your drum brain into this. I'll show you how to configure your drum brain with this. There's actually 2 versions of this. There's a high end and a low end. The one right now I'm using is the low end. The low end has to be used with the Alesis modules. They are kind of old, so the high end's got newer hardware in them. The Alesis doesn't like it too much, so I have the higher end one that I'm going to use with the Yamaha DT Express module, and the low end one is actually hooked up right now to the Alesis module. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's some LEDs on top here. Each one of them light up depending on the pad that you hit. Red will be for snare, yellow for either tom or hi-hat, blue for either ride or tom, green for either cymbal or tom, and orange for your kick pedal. And they light up in sequence as you're playing, just to let you know that the pads are functioning properly. Each one has a different set of firmware, so you'll need different MIDI notes to get them going, but I'll go over that in some other videos. So I just wanted to talk about some of the new toys and give you an idea of what we'll be covering. So, excuse me. So those are two of the new products that I'll be covering in my videos coming up. The low-end module of the Ion Expander MIDI, it just basically has the proper MIDI notes to trigger the Ion brain correctly. So you can have 2 or 3 brains, doesn't really matter. All one brain with all 12 pads hooked up. As long as you have them set to the proper MIDI numbers for the chart on Rockabdn, they'll play. And if you got a cowbell and you could represent it by blue, which is the same as your ride or your tom. Obviously, when you're playing the game, those 4 notes on the chart, you have to know which one's which. I'm sure in some of my videos you've seen me mess up and hit a tom where I should be hitting a cymbal, vice versa. I've hit a ride instead of the hi-hat open, because now we can open and close the hi-hat and change the yellow to blue, because we all know that in Rockabdn, a blue note thrown in is not always a tom or a ride. It could be an open hi-hat. And I'll demonstrate that for you in a couple of songs. I'll find a bunch of songs, and I have shown it off before. I'll show it off a little more. Also, with the new Yamaha module, I found some tutorials, not my work. A guy named Sir Putz-a-lot on one of the forums out there put together on how to use dual layers with the Yamaha DT Express 4 module. And basically what you're doing is you're triggering 2 sounds and 2 different MIDI notes on the same pad. You're outputting one layer, or layer A, to your actual speakers, and your layer B is getting routed into your Guitar Hero MIDI input on your drum set, or if you just took the brain off like I did, it triggers the MIDI notes through the J5 or just the standard MIDI input module that you create that I showed you last video. You could also use it with a regular drum. You could also use it with one of the new Ion Expander